DreAllDay.com.
What up, everybody? Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Welcome to Q&A number 79, which we do here every weekend. I publish this video every Saturday. I record it every Friday, where I take all your questions from the previous week's Q&A and I reply to them. I read them and reply to them in this video. That becomes the next Q&A. If you have a question that I haven't addressed already, you leave it in the comments of this video, and that'll go into the next week's Q&A. As long as y'all keep bringing me good questions, we'll keep doing these Q&A videos. So first thing, before we even get into this, we know that TBT, $1 million tournament, will, by the time you see this video, will have started in 2 cities, which is LA and Atlanta. And next weekend, by the time that video comes out, our team, my team, will be either have played or set to play in Philadelphia, and also Chicago. The tournament will be going. That's the opening weekends for both. They just split it up 2 and 2 between those 2 weekends. So in honor of that, there is one guy, as far as on hoophandbook.com, we got these NBA signature workout 30-day programs. There's one guy playing in the tournament who actually has a signature workout program. And that is Jason Williams, aka White Chocolate. Not the black Jason Williams or the Duke Jason Williams, not the New Jersey Nets Jason Williams, the Sacramento Kings Jason Williams, the white guy point guard. So in honor of that, we actually did a 50% discount on his program at hoophandbook.com. So the code there is TBTWC for White Chocolate. So actually, if you click on that card, wherever it is up there, it's not in the video description. So you're just going to have to remember what I just said. It's TBTWC. I might put it in the video description if I remember. For Jason Williams' signature workout program. If you want to make sure that you get, because we put out discounts every once in a while for certain programs, the codes, the sales only last a day or two when we put them out, but we only send those by email. So if you're not part of the Hoop Handbook email group, then you will not know about it, because I don't make videos about it, I don't tweet it, I don't Facebook or Instagram it. It only goes to the email list. So if you're not on the email list, get on the email list by clicking the annotation up there, and also the link in the video description is DreAllDay.com/HHJoin. Stands for Hoop Handbook Join. So you can join the email list right there, and anytime we send out discounts and when we put our new programs out, you'll get an email about it to let you know how you can get it, where you can get it, and also any discount codes that we put out. Those only get sent by email. So anyway, let's get right into the questions. First one is from Mr. Underdog. He says, Dre, can you play me in 2K15? Thanks for the motivational videos you put out. They help me mentally and help me stay positive every day. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Mr. Underdog. As far as the first question, I do not play video games, so I can't play you in 2K15. Daniel says, great video as always. Thank you, Daniel. Six Pack says, Dre, how do you change your position from a forward to a guard? Well, you just do it. So the position is not about really something physically that you had to do. A position is just something that somebody says. So I could go to a court and say I play center, and I could go to another court and say I play point guard. Who's going to tell me that I'm wrong? It's just whatever I say. So it's not anything you have to do. If you want to play a different position, it's not, actually that doesn't even matter really. Once you get on the court, who cares what position you are? It's not like if you play center, you got to do certain things, and if you play point guard, you had to do certain things. Not necessarily. It's all based on your skill set, what you're actually capable of doing. And when you're on the court, if you don't have the skills to do something, then you're not going to be doing that thing. So just get on the court and play. Don't worry about the name of your position. That doesn't mean that you, just because you call yourself a point guard, doesn't mean you can dribble. Just because you call yourself a center don't mean you can post up or block shots or grab rebounds. It's about what can you actually do. Next question is Harry. Says, if you're from Philly, why don't you support the Sixers? How am I supposed to support them? Should I go buy season tickets or what? What do you mean by support? Elite Tomahawk says, how would someone get into the NBA? They would have to be offered a contract, and then they would sign it. Riley says, I'm on air alert week 6. My knees are hurting a bit. It's affecting my game, and I can't jump as high as I could at the start. Do I think he should just do leg press and stuff at the gym? Well, Riley, if you're doing air alert, that means you bought the program, so why would you not complete what you started? It's 15 weeks. If your knees are hurting a bit, see, I can't really quantify what that means. You say your knees are hurting a bit. Are they hurting like there's some type of, you think there's some type of mechanical pain in your knees, something wrong with your knees? Or are your knees just sore because you're doing new exercises? I can't really answer to that because you didn't really give that much information, nor am I a certified physician. As far as doing leg presses and stuff, if you're going to do leg presses, that's going to put just as much impact on your knees as I think as doing plyometric exercises. And anyway, basketball is a plyometric movement sport. You're going to be running and jumping when you play basketball. So As far as doing leg presses, that's not going to help you play your sport. In basketball, you're standing up, running, and jumping. In leg presses, you're laying down. So that doesn't really simulate the movement of a basketball player. So I don't think doing leg presses is a good idea. When you already have air alert, you've done 6 weeks, you might as well finish the program unless there's something seriously wrong with your knees, in which you would only be able to answer that. You could probably answer it yourself, and if you think there is, you need to see a doctor, not the comment section of a website. Emmanuel Tavares says, who's my favorite point guard in the NBA? He asked my favorite all 5 positions. I'm not answering all 5 of those. I'll just say my favorite player of anyone playing right now. If I had to pick one player who I would watch over everyone, probably had to go with LeBron James. Darius Evans. So I'm 14. My coach gave me the option to start at the 2 or to come off the bench playing point guard. Which one should I do? Well, you decide, Darius. It's your life. DeMarcus says, currently my goal in basketball is to not get overwhelmed to turn the ball over when I get double teamed. I'm always working on my game. I was wondering if I have any point guard hoop handbooks in particular that could help achieve this goal faster. Thanks, Dre. Well, actually, you don't need a hoop handbook to achieve that goal. First of all, you had the wrong goal, because your goal is to avoid a negative, and your mind doesn't understand negation. So when you give your mind works very literally for everyone listening to this, and DeMarcus. Whatever picture you give your mind, that's what your mind is going to do. So if you say to your mind, don't trip up the step, your mind doesn't understand the don't part. It doesn't understand that you're negating what you're saying. All it's going to understand is what you said, which is trip up the step. So when you tell your mind, don't trip up the step, don't mess up, don't turn the ball over, don't miss the shot, all you're doing is giving your mind a clear picture of exactly what you wanted to do, which is turn the ball over, mess up, trip up the step, miss the shot, all those things. So what you need to do is actually give your mind a positive picture, which is protect the basketball, or make the right pass, or keep control of the ball, or play sound basketball and get the ball to my open teammate. Those are the pictures you need to give your mind. So you're giving your mind a complete wrong picture, so no hoop handbook's going to change that. You can do all the drills in the world. As long as you keep telling yourself that, you're going to keep making the same mistake. Penn Stickler, as far as hoophandbook.com, we have plenty of programs, though, that are based on point guard. So just go to the website and look, and you'll see. Penn Stickle says, how would you react? You got dunked on by a 6-foot point guard, an arena full of people, and everyone started laughing at you. There was no way to react. They already dunked. What you going to do but keep playing? Kaiser says, what do your tats represent? Keep up the good work. I've already answered that. I've been asked that probably 10 times in Q&As. Shaquille says, my man, he says, what's good, my man? Is there any way we could train together? I live in West Palm Beach, and nobody around here takes basketball seriously. Well, you're around here, Shaquille. Do you take basketball seriously? As far as me personally, no, I don't work out with people. I mean, you could hire me to train you. I don't even do that often, only selectively. So you would have to email me and let me know about that, and we can see about training. But I don't invite people to just work out with me. Malik says, I have jumper's knee in both of my knees. It's a bad state where I have pain all day and all night. It hinders me when I'm working on my game. What do I think he should do to get rid of his jumper's knee? His last resort is to go to a sports physiotherapist. Thanks, keep up the good work and content. Well, Malik, you can ice your knees and try rest. When I had jumpers knee, and when I was in like college, there was some pain. For the most part, I just played through it. But you can ice your knees and you can try resting for a little while, see if that helps it feel better. Curtis says, Dre, I want to know what college you played for. Did you walk on the team? Did you get a scholarship? Also, if you walked on, how hard were the tryouts in terms of the stuff that you did? Yes, I did play in college, and if you go to my website, dreallday.com, you can read my book. It's called Buy a Game, and that details my entire my basketball background from when I started playing all the way up to when I finished college. So you can read that, and you'll get your full answer to that question. And people ask questions like this: how hard were tryouts? How the hell am I supposed to answer that? How hard is tryouts in basketball? It's basketball. So you try out. You played basketball before, right, Curtis? So it's a tryout. I can't put into words how hard a tryout is in any way. What's hard for me might be easy for you, and what's hard for you might be easy for me. So there's no way for me to quantify when somebody asks me a question like how hard or how easy is something. The question doesn't really make sense. Illis Mojo says, I'm 14 years old. I'm a guard. I'm pretty good. I've been working hard this summer to make the team, and down the road I want to make the NBA or overseas. What tips do I have for him to get noticed or even ranked in the nation? Work on your fucking game. That's the tip that I have. Cassidy says, how would you practice your game if you don't want to play outside because there are insects and you don't want to ruin your skin tone? And he says, also, one parent paid for you to play in the indoor gym, but the other parent won't let you? Well, first of all, if insects and skin tone are the things that's keeping you from working on your game outside, then you're probably not serious about basketball. So maybe you should find a different sport that is only played indoors, so then you won't have to worry about insects and your skin tone. And also, if your one parent won't let you, then I guess you can't do it. If your parent's not letting you do it, then there ain't nothing you can do. Focus on what you have to work with, which is, I guess, the outside court. But if the insects are stopping you, then I guess basketball ain't for you. Andrew says, if you were starting a team in the NBA, you could choose one player to build around, who would it be? If I could choose one player to build around, since LeBron is, I think LeBron James is 30, so I'll go with someone who's on the younger end, probably Anthony Davis. Jay Smoke says, have you ever modeled your game after any particular NBA player? When I was younger, of course, if I might see a player do something, and I might go to the court that day thinking I'm going to try to play like that guy, but not over a long period of time. I never was trying to play like any one person in particular. Yoel says, I'm a big Joe Johnson fan, and he heard me say that Joe Johnson was the hardest player I've had to guard. He says, can you tell the story of when you played him, like when and where? Was it one-on-one, who won, etc.? I played with Joe Johnson when I was playing pickup with a bunch of NBA guys. A few years back, we weren't playing one-on-one. We didn't even guard each other most of the games. We probably guarded each other a couple plays here and there. He might guard me, I might guard him. That's pretty much it. As far as the entire story, maybe I'll tell that in the future. Ian Sexton says, you could pick a new event for All-Star Weekend. What would it be? I'd pick a one-on-one tournament. I'd agree with that, Ian. I'd go with a one-on-one tournament. But it might be hard to get guys to get in because nobody wants to have the embarrassment of losing with so many people watching. Daniel B says, if you have 10 attempts to make a half-court shot, if you make one, you get $2 million. And if you miss all 10, you get 2 years in jail. Would you play this game? I don't know. I had to think about that. Depends on how bad I need the $2 million. Worm Chemistry says, do you think you're better than the other guards joining TBT in your region? Well, I don't know who the other guards are because I don't really care about anybody else's roster. I'm only focused on the players that we have. Boss Angel says, Dre, thanks for your content. I would like to ask, have you had a period of time where you lost your handles or your shot? If so, do you have a method to get back to your usual self? Well, I guess if I didn't go to the basketball court or practice or play, I'll probably lose my handles on my shot because it's just like anything else. If you don't use a skill, then it atrophies. So the only way to get it back is to go to the court, work on your game, play, and practice. The Carolina Kid says, why do my layups keep getting blocked? I get by my defender, but my layups get blocked by the big man, or the defender comes from behind and blocks it. Do I have any tips on how he can stop this? He started to attempt floaters. He's 5'10". Well, again, similar to the question that DeMarcus asked earlier, you're giving yourself a negative picture. You keep talking about getting blocked. All you're doing is telling your mind, find a way for me to get my layup blocked. So first thing you need to say is, how can I start finishing consistently? Don't say, I want to avoid this negative thing. Say, I want to achieve this positive thing. And yes, that choice of words, it matters. It plays a huge role in what you're telling your mind to do. You can't tell your mind negate this negative because all you're doing is telling it to do it. Telling your mind to do the exact same thing that keeps happening to you. And he said you started to attempt floaters. What the hell does that mean? Are you working on making floaters? Don't say you're starting to attempt, because when you say I'm starting to attempt something or I'm going to try this, all you're doing is giving yourself an out clause to not do it or not be successful, and then say, well, I attempted it or I tried it. Just say I'm working on making my floaters better, or I've been practicing floaters. You already basically answered your own question though. So if your layups are getting blocked, you start to find a different way. If what you're doing is not working, change your approach. Kind of something like Tony Robbins always talked about. What you're trying is not working. Change your approach and keep changing your approach until you get it right. Devontae King said, how should players transition from playing outside to playing inside? You just do it. Jabbar says, what's your vertical leap? When'd you first dunk? And if you can dunk, can you do a windmill? I don't know what my vertical leap is. I haven't had it measured. When did I first dunk? I was 16, and if I can dunk, yes, I can dunk. He says, can I do a windmill? Well, I don't do dunks for show, so if you hoping for me to put out a video just doing a windmill, I'm 33. I ain't doing no more dunks for show ever again, so I guess that's just going to be a question that sits in the atmosphere forever. Sean Gamey says, when you play overseas, what's the highest points you average for one season? Let me see. Highest points I averaged for one season, probably in Mexico, I probably averaged around 30 points because I just shot the ball pretty much every time I touched it. Amir Joshua says, do you recommend doing separate basketball workouts throughout the day, or do you think it's okay to do one big workout all at once? You can do either one. It doesn't really matter. Pick which way works for you based on your time, availability, wherever you're working out at. Whatever works for you, do it. It's not that one way is going to make you good and one way won't make you good. Do what you got to do. Frosty Breast says, I can't seem to get better on the mental side of the game. I have no control of my killer instinct. It comes and leaves. I read books. I still haven't gotten the results I need. Is it possible that I'm just not meant for the game? I won't ever elevate my mentality. I don't know what more to do but to just keep playing and working, hoping it will magically pay off one day. Well, first of all, stop talking like a bitch, because all you're doing is recreating that same energy and you're making yourself weaker every time you verbalize something like that, which means you've probably been thinking about it and you've probably been talking about it and now you're writing it on YouTube. That's not going to make you better. None of that's going to make you better. It's not going to make anyone feel sorry for you. And it's not going to improve the situation. As far as the killer instinct, I did make a video about that, so you should go check out the video I made about killer instinct where I talk about it, and I give everyone a step-by-step systematic approach to how you can find your own killer instinct and work on recreating it, because it takes skill, it takes practice. It's a skill that takes practice. You can develop the skill by practicing it over and over and over again. As far as what else did he say? You read books on the mental side, you still haven't gotten the results. Well, a book is not supposed to give you results. A book just gives you information. So information is potential power that you have to apply. So it's not about the book. So you don't say that the book didn't work, or even if you watch the video that I made, the video is not going to make you have killer instinct. The video is going to tell you what you need to do to develop your killer instinct. So you still have to do the thing. People get books and programs and audios, and they work with trainers, and they buy materials to practice, and then they say, oh well, that didn't work. Listen, books don't work, audio programs don't work, training programs don't work, trainers don't work, equipment doesn't work, human beings work. All right, a book doesn't do anything. If you buy a book and you put it down on the table and you leave it there for 30 days without touching it, what's the book going to do? It's still going to be sitting in the exact same spot. Books don't do work, people do work. So if you want to get better, it's not on the book, it's not on the programs, it's not on me, it's not on any YouTube video, it's not on any trainer, it's on you. And I already told you exactly what you need to do it, so start doing it. Clashing with Hero. So I'm new to watching your videos. I really enjoy watching them. Keep it up. He says, thank you. He said, keep giving your straight up answers. You don't mess around with your answers, so thank you for that. Well, I appreciate you, Clashing. Welcome to the channel. Richie says, When is a good time to have a pickup game when he's not working out that day? I don't know what you mean. Whenever you feel like it. Martin says, do you know some good vertical leap exercises to gain just 1 to 3 inches? Yes, DreAllDay.com/jump. Just Thursday, we just put out a video from my guy Jacob from Jump Manual where he made the Jump Manual, and every once in a while he comes around and makes a video where he answer some question about vertical jump. Basically, I tell him the questions that I get asked most often. He makes a video about it. I post it here on this channel. So go look at that video and click on the link that's on that video where you can get that 1 to 3 inches of vertical that you asked about. He says, can I tell him some good food to eat before a workout in my opinion? I talked about this before, but some quickly digestible foods. I like fruits like bananas and apples. Master of Basketball says, who's your favorite NBA player and why? Michael Jordan, because I believe he was the best. Johnny Football, can you explain where the restricted area is and what it is for? A restricted area is a small semicircle that's right in front of the basket on the court, and if you want to know more about it, Google it and you can read the official definition and rules made up by the NBA. That's not for me to say. Tony L says, Dre, is it practical to play college ball, work a job, and still get good grades? I say this because my parents are unsupportive of basketball. They don't understand how time-consuming college ball is, so they think I can work a job also. Even though I love basketball, my grades are #1. Is there anything I could do to solve this problem? Well, why is it a problem, Tony? I don't understand why you're even framing it as a problem. There are plenty of people who have done all three. Work at a job, go to school, and play college basketball. So you're not the first, you won't be the last. You don't have a problem, so just do it. If those are the things that you're doing, your parents don't understand, so it's not like they said you can't do it. They think you should work a job. Well, get the job. So get a job, make money at your job, do your schoolwork, and play basketball. Basically, it just means you're not going to have any time for bullshitting and wasting time. All your time has to be allocated to getting those 3 things done. So that's your situation, deal with it. Propaganda. It says, your blog posts and all the work you do inspire me. I enjoy your motivational content most. Well, thank you, Prop. My question is, what book of yours do you recommend that I read first? The book that motivates me and shares knowledge and experiences of professional ball would be ideal. Thank you, good luck, and TBT. I'll be watching for you Rooting for Team WOYG on the stream. Well, thank you for that. The TBT is going to be a lot of fun. As far as his question, what book of mine would I recommend first? I would say my most popular book, I think, so far has been, besides Buy a Game, my first book, because that book is actually free on my website, dreallday.com. Since you read my blog post, I'm guessing that you read that book already. If you haven't, go get it. Other than that, I would suggest the Mental Handbook and the Mirror of Motivation. They're kind of equal. Those two books seem to be my most popular books on Amazon. Then I got the Overseas Basketball Blueprint, but that's more of a guidebook for someone who's actually trying to play overseas. Someone who wants to read a story or something, or a motivational type book. I haven't wrote that next one yet. The one that's going to be about basketball, that's going to be a good one, but it's going to be a long book because I got a lot of writing left to do. So, excuse me, that one hasn't come out yet, but it's coming. Dominique says, in your video intros, why do you wear the number 4 while in the Heat jersey? Why not? That's the number they gave me. Constantine says, well, I get the money since I'm from Serbia if you win $1 million. He said he recruited 11 fans for TBT, so he's, 9th on the list. Yes, you will get the money. That's what it says. That's why you signed up and recruited fans so you can get the money. Why would you do it if you didn't think you would get the money? The good guys full. I'm trying to decide between training and playing between two teams. The first one has a better roster. They've already said they'll give me playing time and decent training sessions, which will help me improve, but not so much. They also play a lot of games. You get a lot of exposure and opportunity. The second team roster is not good, but they have a great coach who helps you develop your game a lot, but they don't play hardly any games. Which team should I join? Or should I join one and just train with the other, etc., etc.? Well, I think the way that you spelled that out, you pretty much have thought about every option in all the situations, so I think you already have made a decision, so just go make a decision and act on it. I found people who are most successful, people who make quick decisions. So all this hemming and hawing and thinking about it and asking everybody what they think, those people tend to get into, what's the word, the procrastination, analysis paralysis, thinking about it, asking about it, I don't know, maybe, let me think about it. Just make a decision and go do it. If it's the wrong decision, then you immediately see that, and then you can go change it. Finn Al says, I'm going back to high school that I previously went to because I didn't get accepted to a different high school that has a better basketball program. I don't know what to do because the team sucks. The coach favors players. I think I'm going to have to play JV, but I don't have time for that. What should I do? Well, if you don't have time for it, what other options do you got? You don't have any other options, so if that's your only situation, go deal with it. There's nothing that you need to do. Well, that's what you need to do, is go deal with it. Josh Peralta says, in your last Q&A, you say you don't do intermittent fasting, which I don't. He said, and he explains what it is. It says eating a certain amount of time a day, like you'll have an 8-hour period of eating, 16-hour fasting period. He says good for fat loss, but if you ever try it, your gains might not be as great as, but if you try it, even though your gains, he said, would you try it even though your gains might not be as great as before? By the way, he does it, and it works well. He's wondering what I think of fasting for most of the day. I don't think anything of it, Josh, because like I told you before, I don't do it. So I don't care about what it does or about gains. I'm not a bodybuilder, so I don't care about gains. Next question, Jordan says, how do you play good and not get nervous in front of scouts? Again, it's another one of those questions where you're basically canceling your purchase order. If you want to play good and not get nervous, stop telling your brain don't get nervous, because all your brain is going to think for that is get nervous. So reframe the question and say, how do I play well? I want to play well in front of scouts. Don't put the negative part in there. So just do it. If you want to work on that killer instinct or that mentality, getting yourself in the right frame of mind when it's time to perform, I got the video on killer instinct. I also got a video on 3 things you need to do when you're talking about tryouts. And if you're talking about playing in front of scouts, it's pretty much a tryout because they're looking at you. That's their version of a tryout because they're watching. Caleb says, what does it take to be the best at your craft, and how do I know what to work on? Well, it depends on what your craft is. Find out who the best is at it, and then look at what they're doing and do that exact same thing. And how do you know what to work on? Well, there's your answer right there. If you happen to be a basketball player, you need to work on your game. The last question is, Payinus says, have you ever been in a car accident? Yes, I have. And Payinus, you got a picture of me as your profile pic, so don't be going around talking crazy using my name. I'm going to have to get rid of you. But that's it. Everybody, thank you for the questions on this week's Q&A. Any of you have any other questions that I have not previously addressed, leave them down in the comments to this video. I'll address them in next week's video. Work on your fucking game. DreAllDay.com. Next week, I'll be coming to you live from the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. TBT, $1 million. We will be playing next Saturday, 10:45 a.m. You can live stream it on the TBT website. Oh, this is going to be fun. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com.
Thanks for checking out this video. Make sure you follow all my top content up here. Follow me on all your favorite social networks right over here. And make sure you are subscribed to catch all the new content I put on this channel every single day. Work on your game.